Hello guys, top of the morning to you. It's Saturday the 9th of January and myself, Mr. Clues and Reviews is here to throw out another theory. So, for those who don't know, who have just come across this channel today, I am a manga and anime enthusiast. I love comics, I like doing reviews, theories, especially about One Piece. And also, for those that haven't seen my last theory, about it's more of clues really about Sanji. I'll leave a link in the description below. In any case, so the reason why you're here is because there's some interesting facts that no one really has covered in the One Piece world to do with future events that may or may not happen. To lay the plot lines down, let's kind of have a look at what's happened so far. So we were introduced to the idea of 11 super rookies called the supernovas, one of them being Luffy, the other also being Zoro. We also introduced to people like Captain Kidd, Basil Hawkins, X-Drake, Scratchman Apu, Killer, to name a few. And there was 11 of them in total, and plus Blackbeard made them the worst generation, but we'll stick on the 11 supernovas for the time being. We were also told that in order for people to survive in the new world, they would either have to work under a Yonkou or take down a Yonkou. So that was an interesting fact as well. So as the story continued, we got Marine for War. Unfortunately, Asen Black Whitebeard died, and that changed the dynamics of the world. Coming to the new world after a 2-year time skip, we see a lot of the 11 supernovas are in the new world doing their own thing, and things have changed. Now, we are introduced in the Dressrosa arc to an alliance between Eustace Captain Kidd, Basil Hawkins, and Scratchman Apu, and by extension, also Killer. So this, again, spoilers alert for those who don't know. Give it a few seconds. We're going to move on. The target for this alliance is none other than Akagami Shanks, red hair Shanks, or red haired Shanks. Okay. Now, there's also another alliance brewing between Monkey D. Luffy and Trafalgar Walter D. Law, and by extension, Straw Pirates, and also Zoro, who is also another supernova. So, when you look at the dynamics at the moment, they've got 4 supernovas. Luffy's alliance has 3. Now, again, spoiler for those who just watched the anime. There's a scene in chapter 795 with the introduction of the crazy man himself, Kaido, Mr. Yonkou, Mr. 100 Beast Kaido. He jumps from like 10,000 meters in the sky, and he lands on the island, leaving a massive ass crater. People thinking it's an earthquake. Little to no damage for the guy other than a bit of a throbbing head, and it leaves the Kid Alliance in a dilemma because they're not after Kaido, but Kaido's bored anyway, and he likes the idea of danger. He wants to have a bit of a fight. He's waiting on Doflamingo to send him off well. He does not know that he's been defeated just yet, because he's bored jumping off places. In any case, it's him, and then there's Hawkins, there's Scratchman Apu, there's Kid, there's Killer. What do you think happens next? I have a clue. May or may not be right, but I have a clue. May help us decide what's going on. So, one of the supernovas, X-Drake, former Rear Admiral, was seen at one point going to a snowy island which was said to be one of the favorites of Kaido. At this point, he gets interrupted by a robot-looking cyborg dude who said he's one of he's one of his followers, and he would not be happy if Kaido, I mean, would not be happy if this was attacked. Then you see Kid Drake turning into a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then it flashes off. The next thing we've seen, again, this is spoiler for the anime only. Once the defeat of Doflamingo occurs, news breaks out. You see X-Drake on, I believe it's the same island. He's reading a newspaper reminiscing about his father, Dies Barrels, or Dies Drake is obviously X-Drake, but Dies Barrels was killed in the process of a flashback to with Corazon by Doflamingo and his crew for the Opi fruit, and basically he was reminiscing, like it was kind of the revenge, for him. So could X Drake have been joining Kaido for that revenge? Possibly. Could there be something else as a motive for him? Possibly. So if those who have done the research, who've actually looked into it, I mean, for those who probably don't want to, just want to enjoy the character as it is, a lot of the characters are based on real life characters. Luffy is kind of based on Goku, and a few of the characters are based on other people. So, for example, Useless Captain Kid is actually based on the real life pirate Useless Captain Kid. Capone Badge is based on Al Capone, things like that. Now, X Drake, is actually based on Sir Francis Drake, a pirate, an English pirate, who was quite famous. I think he was the second most successful pirate from looting and pirating. Um, and then and there's a few others. So why that point is significant is because in history, Sir Francis Drake had a cousin. His cousin's name was John Hawkins. Sounds familiar? It's because Basil Hawkins is based on John Hawkins, as in the name of the character. Now, of course, that's not to say John Hawkins was a voodoo master who's like nearly 7 foot tall. We don't know any of that. But from a character point of view, he was based, name especially, on John Hawkins. And they were cousins, and they worked in the same fleet where um, Drake was admiral. He was like a vice admiral or rear admiral, so to speak. So, um, so basically, how can that play in the One Piece world? That's not to say it's going to happen. It could happen, but let's just imagine the possibility that it could happen. So, the Kaido alliance. So the Kaido jumps onto your island. You see X Drake's cousin Basil Hawkins, or relative Basil Hawkins. You got Scratchyman Apu, and you got Killer and Kid. What's not to say Kaido just stops there and goes, you know what? I know who you are. I've heard all about you. I'm not really interested in you. I know especially you, Hawkins, from your cousin or your relative. Let's let this go. I know you're after, somebody else, because they'll tell him, oh yeah, we're after Shanks, we're after you, and he might let them go. He goes, alright, cool, I want to defeat everybody anyway, let's jump aboard and let's fight. That could happen. So that's one theory. So that's not one clue we know so far. Or this could also happen. Luffy Alliance versus Kaido. We're stepping up in Zou. We know that Luffy's already got a negative image of Kaido. He doesn't like Jack. He wants to beat them both up. You know, when he makes up his mind and thinks they're bad people, he'll automatically have that in his head that he wants to beat them people. It's just how he is. He's a very strong-willed individual. He's very stubborn. That's what he does. So he's got that in his head. What's not to say that when that battle happens, that Drake doesn't join the Luffy Alliance and betrays Kaido on the idea or the premise that once Kaido is defeated, X Drake becomes a leader of that pirate crew. He becomes a Yonkou, and he becomes a king of the bees. Similar to how in the prehistoric world, T-Rexes were like the top of the food chain. Okay, they had little arms, but they used what they could with the big ass jaws and heads of theirs. But anyway, they were top of the food chain. So there is the out there that could possibly happen. With that being said, Option 3 is similar to option B, so that still happens. Kaido gets defeated, X-Ray betrays him, he's in the Luffy alliance. What's not to say, take a bit from pot B, take a bit from pot A. The Hawkins betrays the Kid alliance and joins the Luffy alliance. And you're thinking, why would that happen? The whole link with the cousins is one thing. And secondly, what if Luffy overhears and finds out that Kid is after Drake? Kid is after um, Akagami Shanks, red-haired Shanks, and he steps in. Now, don't get me wrong, Shanks doesn't really need the help of Luffy. Shanks is a beast. He's probably the strongest Yonkou, with a close second or matching second of Blackbeard now. That's honestly how I see it. I don't think he's even really need help. There has to be some type of trick or something to happen for him to lose, in my opinion. But in any case, if he does hit a buy, he's more than likely going to step up and say, watch what you're doing. I don't like which direction you're going there. You're going to have to fight me first. And then something like that could happen. It could, if Kid gets defeated by Shanks, it could be a case of they unite the whole. Both crews having 8 of the 11 supernovas, and that could lead into the future battles. I honestly think at some point what's going to happen is we're going to find out more about Bonnie, because she's aloof at the moment, she's in hiding. We're going to find out more about the Rouge. We're definitely going to find out about the plans of Capone Beige. And the 8 generations are going to unite for the final war. That's kind of the idea I'm going to go. The worst generation will unite. They'll defeat Blackbeard at one point, and then they'll take on the world. So the reason why these little bits, although they're not really key to this video, I just want to mention, is because Capone Beige at the moment has been revealed to be working on a Big Mom. Al Capone was a person that worked under somebody as well, until he betrayed him, took over his empire, and became the big man that he is. Could this be a true reflection of what's happening right now? We'll have to wait and see. But food for thought, right? So, we don't really know about the situation with Bonnie and Uruj. That will be revealed in time, but I'm assuming when something happens and we get more information, I'll be able to connect the dots and hopefully make a theory. So, to go back to where we were before. Kaido falls on the island. Kid Alliance is there. Potentially can recognize Hawkins as a relative or an associate of Drake. Lets him go. Says you're after Shanks anyway, doesn't matter. Drake betrays Kaido at one point, gets defeated, he becomes a Yonkou, and whoop-de-dowl as well. Now, I've gone through a long ass video. I've had a few things. I've said what I think. What we're thinking, okay, what if that's coincidental? Here's another thing that can help hopefully kind of improve the idea. Again, it's another potentially circumstantial, potentially coincidental fact. Did you know that Basil Hawkins and X-Drake are both from the North Blue? And did you know that looking at all the characters that are based in the North Blue, it's a very European based theme? The French thing with Sanji, the idea of Law being from North Blue, and him having the idea of the Napoleon Wars, Waterloo, Trafalgar Wars based in his name, and the idea of it in fact being a very French or European based design. Dressrosa, Doflamingo, although that Dressrosa is in the New World, the idea of his characteristics coming through the Spanish kind of thing going on there. So the links are all there. Corazon being a very Spanish name. It's a very European themed part of the world for One Piece. With that being said, X-Drake or Sir Francis Drake, Basil Hawkins or Sir John Hawkins, I don't know if it's a I just made that up, but from England, which is in Europe. So yeah, basically that's some facts for you. It's kind of a theory, speculation more than a theory. There's nothing concrete really here, but the idea of this video is to get you to think. So you're probably thinking, oh, I never really thought of that. That's what I want from my videos. I don't want you to think, oh, this is the gospel truth, this is everything, this is, you know, revelation. No, I'm not getting anyone to think like that. What I basically want is I want you people to think, okay, that's an interesting way to put this together. what else could be going on. And if it reveals to be true, I'm all happy for that. But if it doesn't, hey, it was only a theory anyway, right? So I've got a few theories out there. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Especially subscribe, because it shows that people are liking what I'm doing. They are following what I'm doing, and I really want to expand this channel. So I've taken a break from my regular thing. I want to get back into theories as well. I'm going to be expanding my content. So if you check my details, I've talked about what I will be looking to do. So you will see a lot more manga reviews and eventually animes as well. Like always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.